of the game. I believe in you, that's what it'll say. Nice and kind, leading cobalt ice. He's a blue, cute, and deadly little guy. Seeing through the fog, old gods he's slayed. Go 7, go 7, go 7, go 7. Go 7, go 7, go 7, go 7. Go7, king of the game. I believe in you, that's what it'll say. Nice and kind, leading cobalt ice. He's a blue, cute, and deadly little guy. Seeing through the fog, old gods he's slayed. Go 7, go 7, go 7, go 7. Go 7, go 7, go 7, go 7. Go7, king of the game. I believe in you, that's what it'll say. Nice and kind, leading cobalt ice. He's a blue, cute, and deadly little guy. Seeing through the fog, old gods he's slayed. Go 7, go 7, go 7, go 7. Go 7, go 7, go 7, go 7. Go7, king of the game. I believe in you, that's what it'll say. Nice and kind, leading cobalt ice. He's a blue, cute, and deadly little guy. Seeing through the fog, old gods he's slayed. Go 7, go 7, go 7, go 7. Go 7, go 7, go 7, go 7. Go7, king of the game. I believe in you, that's what it'll say. Nice and kind, leading cobalt ice. He's a blue, cute, and deadly little guy. Seeing through the fog, old gods he's slayed. Go 7, go 7, go 7, go 7. Go 7, go 7, go 7, go 7.
Hello, hello, hello. It's been put on our bow tie. I hope everyone is doing well. fluhfie is representing both chats, YouTube and Twitch. Hello, hello, ladies, gents, and penguins. I know, back in your day, yeah, we were assailed by bots back in the day. And YouTube apparently has finally dealt with that issue, and now we've only seen it on Twitch lately. fluhfie has betrayed you? How did fluhfie betray you? Oh, Floppy. Floppy betrayed you. I don't know who Floppy is. I'll try and get in a... I might go extra long today just because I'm going to be gone for 2 weeks with no access to my computer or anything, so no streams. Just popping in for a bit sneaky. Hey. But that's okay. Overknight gets to be... Flyer gets to be yellow comment. You know, Overknight, you should, or not Overknight, you know, TheSneakyDragon, you should set up a YouTube video with Humida. Because I've seen a lot of these, like, different card game videos where they'll have either, like, Magic players or Hearthstone players reacting to cards in the different games and, like, guessing what their ranking is, if they're bad or good. Because you could do the same thing with Humida for Wargroove COs. I would do it, but for one, I'm leaving town for 2 weeks. And also, I don't know the tier list nearly as well for you. But you could definitely be like describing to Humida the CO, and then it's up to him to see is it bad or good. Since you know the COs rather well. It'd be fun. If you don't do it, I might do it. Just way in the future. Be warned. I bet Humida would be down. Or you could just, you know, grab some other advanced words by web person. Humida just came to my mind because I talked to him about Wargroove. And he had a passing interest. Could be a good introduction. You get your clickbait. Humida said Valder was bad? F tier? Hello? Oh, you can DM them. They're good. They're all good. You can say it was Go7's idea and everything. Go7 sent you. Okay. So here we go. This is, I think, Ardennes. 1v1 Ardennes. It's a fancy map. You have like this early black boat that you get to use to unlock your neutral base. It's been a while since I've played this, but I do believe this is oftentimes either like almost a slay the base kind of deal or slay the HQ happens. Like the one base tries to extend their influence out here until the double base plus airport smacks it down in this area and can contest this comm tower. The black boat can make itself all the way around here to help block off if you do go for the comm tower with your one base. It just has a really hard time actually combating the double base. Like these two bases come up this way and it's really difficult to resupply this area from these two bases because of these lines of mountains. It just makes it forever. It is something you can do, but typically you're not going to have much success. There are some really nice spots for artillery though. Like if you get an artillery in these woods, you're covering 3 different cities. Same with these woods. So there's some natural places to kind of try and establish lines. These ones I would say are better for the 2 base attacking down, where the 1 base is going to be wanting more like these further back forests or even like way back here. Just because you really don't want to get overwhelmed and have everything wiped out on your 1 base. As can happen. As usual, we can blame Go7. The 3 games you've had on here was a brawl in the middle that turns into isolated fighting on the sides. Really? I wouldn't expect too much fighting in the middle. I would only expect that to happen if like both players kind of front shift into each other. You can do that, true. You can just pick up infantry to resupply the 1 base with your black boat. Usually that happens more towards the mid game because the black boat kind of like has a few jobs. It like gets this base and then this airport and this harbor and this airport. So, I mean, you don't have to do that though. You can just drop out like if infantry over here, then go get an infantry for this airport and then have a transport copter built here to get this harbor, and then the black boat's more able to be free for this kind of thing, depending on all the timings. But it's also fine to just kind of wait till the mid game before you start transporting infantry. That's a good point, Rip. There's some flexibility in what you do with it. The transport copter thing is not the worst. All depends on your goals. There's a few different methods to one's madness here. I think the early recon can be decent. As you can see, there's like all these shoals. It's like a few planes and then more shoals. I think most players are going to expect that, and they might go for an early tank off the 1 base to help defend. We do have Jess against Jake, though. So I wouldn't expect Jake to go for the early recon because it's going to be really sad against the Jess tank. We could see a Jess early recon. I mean, it's not like the worst thing. Interesting. Okay, so Jake's going to go for the early tank, doing it on the 2 base side. It seems okay here. Ideally, you're going to build your vehicle from the base that doesn't have any more need to build infantry. Like, the infantry from the base have already got their assigned roles for their capture route, for what they're going to go for. Like, this infantry goes for, I assume, this city, then this guy goes down here. Probably goes for this city, maybe this city. This guy goes and goes for the other one. This guy goes over to this city, and kind of already got the everything under control. You're only going to be sad if some sort of harassment shows up and ruin, and you don't have a spare infantry to cover a now vacant city capture. The capture route out of this base is pretty awkward, as you can see, with just this huge line of mountains. You gotta walk to here, get this city. I guess you can walk to here, get this city is the other route. I guess this guy goes down to here, then that's city. That makes more sense, yeah. Seems good so far. We do have the tank on the one base side for Overknight. It's going to be in position to guard against all of the recons unless there was like an infantry recon strike over here or something. And just a delayed recon on the right, which is okay. I would just be careful with that. If your delayed recons aren't going to be as successful when used aggressively, because you kind of have to expect your opponent's going to have a tank ready at this point to defend. It can definitely be painful. Okay, so Overknight goes for this capture. It's definitely a little bit risky, but there is the tank coverage. It does a city skip to get here, right? Yeah, had to go. Oh no, went from here to here. Okay, yeah. This guy's doing a little city skip. Looks like this guy's going down for the comm tower. Seems good. The comm towers can be very contested. Kind of awkward to get over there. It's not so hard to hold it in theory, right? You can like get an artillery and defend it from across the water, or like on this city even. Although holding this area can definitely be tricky. But the dream is like you get your artillery on this city. They're like trying to take your comm tower. You have an artillery on the city. You have a black boat sitting here on this shoal. And then you only have to hold this one tile to help protect it. Until a copter comes up and ruins your day. You know, that kind of thing. Okay, so Overknight... Interesting. This is a little weird. Okay, so Overknight does go for the transport copter, but also picks up the infantry from this airport with the black boat. Like an anti-combo. I think it's better for the black boat to have gone and picked up an infantry over here and go for this airport earlier, and then the transport copter can just pick that guy up and do other things. I guess it's fine. It's going to be like the transport copter goes over here maybe to pick up this infantry. Although I think it's fine for the black boat to have gone here and pick him up and then go over here too. So I don't quite know why we have the two transport units kind of fighting over the exact same infantry. Okay, so Flyer does go for the interrupt on this capture. It's going to get smacked. Pop from the city. 4-9 exchange. Very nice for Jess there. We do have the medium tank buy from Flyer. And Overknight gets harassment from the city, so it should mean that the recon's gonna live. Unless, like, tank recon comes out and hit two vehicles. That is an early and medium tank. It's a medium tank on the 2-base side, which is fine. I think it's probably the safer spot to put it just because this airport comes online much slower. The only concern I would have is I think it's pretty common for the 1-base to defend itself with artillery in the woods. And you'd really hate to blunder the medium tank into that kind of thing. But the advantage to being on the 2-base side is that you get just so many infantry, so it's very possible to just have good screening for your medium tank, and it's no worries. Looks like this infantry tried to flee into the woods and got trapped. I kind of like this play where Overknight just kills that infantry from the woods, rather than like a recon kills it, infantry tries to go for this capture. It would be incredibly greedy to go for this capture, as it's so far forward. And Overknight only has a recon. If there was like 2 tanks backing this up, like if these 2 tanks weren't even built over here but were built over here, then that would be more reasonable of a play. So as is, I think Overknight did that pretty well. It's debatable whether or not you should even go for this capture, but I think it's okay because it's so close to this one that you might kind of overload the infantry in the region for interrupts. Yeah, it is a little weird there's only 1 recon built so far. We're starting to enter into like the mid game. Not quite there, we're still in the capture phase, but towards the later stages of it. So you would expect some recons to start getting pumped out here. Blackboat is... I didn't follow what they did, but it looks like the transport copter is going to be the one that gets this airport. So I don't like that course of action because the Blackboat can only go on the ocean tiles, so it might as well do all the captures and transporting on the ocean. The transport copter can like go on land, and it can accelerate these infantry going straight up, and that's what I thought this is going to do. So it's a little weird that it's being sent over to the left. That does get interrupted. That does too. There's no tank backup over here. It was definitely a little bit daring for Flyer Knight to go in with the tank strike, because the recon's known about, and it could have been very catastrophic, right? If like recon comes in, hits this infantry finishes it off, maybe this one that's visible finishes it off, and then the tank comes in and strikes from the city. That would have been real bad, but it's fine. No live ASMR for 2 weeks. Don't worry, there's over 300 episodes that you can maybe go back in time. Boom. I mean, that medium tank is definitely going to be unexpected, and I do kind of... It's always a little risky to charge forward and hit tanks because they could be covered by artillery, but since there's no forest in range, it is pretty safe to go forward. If you're gonna... Since you kind of have to go forward, getting some pressure on the other side and everything. Gotta respond somewhere. And it's an early medium tank. The airport's not even online on this front, so you don't really have to worry too much about like copters coming in and hitting you. Although we do have the anti-air built. Okay, that's the city. So far, Flyer's actually ahead on income. Pretty impressive. Part of that is that the airport got captured earlier. But I think I thought Overnight's been doing a better job in the capture phase overall with like some harassment, but Flyers managed to get the job done so far. This push is kind of annoying for Flyer, like the tank lines, and they're going to be up against artillery plus infantry, recon, and copters. Not exactly the tank's favorite composition to fight. At least the artillery doesn't quite have enough blockers to be like impenetrable. Oof, a nice take on the left here from Flyer. Medium tank definitely making itself felt. Some walling going on over here. 7 health infantry isn't the greatest thing to have as a wall, of course. A tank can just one-shot that. So if something like, oh, I don't know, tank plus infantry clears the city, tank clears the 7 health, tank comes in and hits the artillery happens, then you would be really sad. But there is double copter covering this, so there would have to be, if there was like an anti-air that also came in and killed the copter, I think that would be just a full retreat on this front afterwards. We do have that attack happen, so the artillery does get smacked. Fortunately, the anti-air and copters are way back here, so Overknight does get to have some good copter retaliation. but it's still like an amazing attack. Neo tank from Overknight is going to be coming on to this front. If it manages to bop that medium tank, this fight is definitely going to start changing for the advantage. Blackboard's going to go pick this guy up. I know. You gotta be risky with the... I mean, you get the early medium tank. What else are you gonna do? I might go back and play Advance Wars DS for like the New Game Plus, where I was doing the Sturm build. That was pretty fun. And then you'll have some authentic sounds. So that'd be way in the future. Howdy, howdy. Okay, so the Neo tank skulking in the shadows, waiting for its prey. Flyer's got to be feeling pretty nice though. Still up 4k. The city is under threat. The 2 copters got to like kill a tank, but there was still a really nice attack here for Flyer and deny the city. So it's a fine exchange, and I love the pullback over here. Kills the recon. The Neo tank is spotted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Uh-oh. Well, if Overknight uses a power, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yeah. And tank, 2 tanks kill this tank. Tank smacks another tank. Neo tank can then go through here with the power hit here. Infantry, I assume, can get a strike in on this city. Seems like a really good Jess power is about to enter the stage. Here we go. Super. Ooh, it went to use the super. Not even the normal power. Okay, okay. I think the normal power is all you need, but no worries. The super's going to do a lot of damage. Kills off tanks, gets the interrupt, kills off the medium tank. The Neo tank's kind of alone vision-wise, but that's okay. Anti-air goes in there. It does have a Neo tank helping to protect it, but finishes off that infantry, and now these captures are potentially going to be flipping soon. Oof. I mean, I don't like that the recon got trapped there. I'm not sure what it was trying to do, but it could have hit something. I did like the black boat trapping this tank. Pretty nice. So the pullback over here does keep these guys safe, as it would have been even more catastrophic if these had gotten wiped out by a Jess super. You prefer the Jess super over the normal power? Okay. This is not a new map. I think it has recently come back into rotation. Okay, so the artillery is covering here. We don't have any like Jake super response, and I think that makes sense because currently there's not a great standing army for Jake on the front lines. So let yourself kind of rebuild and have the charge advantage. Unit count wise, Jake actually still doing fine. Mainly because like the top still has a pretty solid army. Neo tank getting some more value though. Looking good. Overknight clears this front. Is that a second transport copter? I'm not quite sure what's going on with all the transport copters. We do have the Jess mech. Ooh, okay, so the Jake Super. I'm not really sold on this because it looks like it was primarily like a 3 vehicle attack and everything else just ran away, I think you just don't go for this attack and keep holding on to that super. So you have, because if like the super gets used while you have like maybe the medium tank on the front lines and they can combo with other tanks to try and take down the neo tank, then that makes more sense to me. It does suck to be getting overcharged from the combats that are going on, but it's definitely better. Like, I guess I should put like if you were Olaf or Drake, then you would just kind of pop the power. It doesn't really matter, but because you're like the Jake and Jess supers are unit based, you do need to have the actual units to make full use of the super. Otherwise, your super just gets like way weaker, and then you're going to be sitting in a spot where you're just like, oh, I wish I had a super, but I still have to wait to get all the way back up there. I am surprised by the rocket. It is a Jake rocket, so it can get some extra range. It does have the shoals to move up here. I assume it's trying to land itself down in like these woods, I guess, so it can help lock down this city. It's actually like going to be a big brain play as the neo tank after one turn is now in its range. And this could even be rather tragic because as Jess, you probably feel, I mean, there's nothing you can actually do about it, but you also at the same time feel pretty secure. I guess there is something you can do about it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you use the normal power, I bet anti-air plus 2 health tank kills the recon and then the neo tank could get out of there. But you might even just feel safe for a turn because you're like, ah, okay, they're building their own neo tank or something, and it'll take them 2 turns to get over here. I can just kill off 2 units in the meantime. I'm sitting on a city surrounded by shoals. Rest in peace, transport copter. We knew you well. That's why there's a backup one. Overknight was prepared. Let's see if Overknight has a strong reaction to this or just kind of kills a tank. I think we're just going to kill a tank. No power needed. It's not even like the worst for Overknight. The neo tank has already gotten its value worth. It's killed a medium tank. It's killed a tank. It's going to kill another tank. Yeah. You just say, good job, neo tank. I'm proud. Only good rocket build in the history of Advanced Force Might Web. It is going to be an amazing rocket build. Bam, bam. Down goes Neo. Okay, getting a little sketchy on these fights. Just like really low on unit count. Looks like we're gonna get stormed here. C-cap happening. There's this anti-air can actually kill this infantry. So it's gonna make it really tough to interrupt this for flyer. Overknight's probably getting this one. The rocket does kill this neo tank, but it does mean it's not really on its way towards the destined forest, and Overknight can probably get this back. I mean, there is still the recon here to interrupt, so we'll see. Tank copter going to rely on the medium tank to fight the other medium tank. Seems reasonable. Wow. Block rock? Again, this is another case of I think you just hold on to the super until you have a better position. Because there's not too many attacks that I feel like really benefit from this. Great scouting. Discovered. That helps a lot. Oh my gosh. That's so aggressive. I guess it's fine. Yeah, I mean the tank, it is outside of like the city capture, and the medium tank already had a target. No, not really. I guess it is going to trade the anti-air. I wouldn't do that. The anti-air for a 3 health tank when there's an airport here is a little iffy for sure. I can understand the impulse though. Pop. All back. Okay. Overknight didn't get this city. Overknight didn't get this city. Didn't get either of the cities. Flyer's actually up 6k. Down a few units, we can say. But still maintaining a pretty good income lead. Has the rocket on its way to get into these woods. Charges on here. Wow. Okay, this is not something I would recommend, but charges on in here. Starts this capture. Strikes this infantry, kills this infantry. The artillery coming up is cute, but then like this medium tank exchange is pretty awful. You lose 5 to do 4, and then they just repair 2 of it. This attack probably, well, for one, I think at this point you just kind of maintain your nice income lead rather than try to go for another city or go for this city that's really far away. But the other thing is, I think this attack would be a lot better if the rocket was in range, so you kind of have to wait. Which I know feels awful, but I mean, if you have the 6k income lead, then waiting should be what you want to do anyway. The Jess mech busts through to hit the artillery. Capture starts happening. Out of range of everything. Jess is gonna get the capture. Jake has to fall back down to 18 units, and yeah, Jake resigns. You hate resigning when you have a 6k income lead, but when you're down so many units, losing the income lead is kind of inevitable. So GG. I think the Overknight kind of early vehicle builds were pretty nice. I don't know what was going on with the transport copter and black boat. I feel like that was maybe a little inefficient, but also the overall, I think, tactics of Overknight were pretty good. If Flyer was just a tiny bit more patient, probably would have still been able to seal the game though. Flyer's a strong independent CO who don't need no anti-air. GG. Okay, next we have neoSneed versus Inlandemperor. 1v1 Feishui. Wow, Rachel versus Sami. The tall map. There we go. You say we need more anti-air? That's your opinion always. Always more anti-air. Stan Brown, you. I've always been a supporter of the Jess mech. They do everything you want a mech to do, and meme wise, you do get to refill their ammo. Yeah. So there is definitely some. I mean, there's some decent infantry fighting on this map, just because both the one, like this one base and this base of the 2 base, they both kind of have the infantry shortcuts across the mountains in comparison to the vehicles. So there's definitely a lot of infantry versus infantry fronts to go on and potential fighting. There's also, of course, a rather exposed HQ. I mean, it is true. The if a mech runs out of ammo, it's already kind of achieved its goals. But if it's a Jess mech, it can keep going. You disagree with the infantry fights? There's usually, like, not usually, but there can oftentimes be artillery, like in forests with infantry walls facing each other. You can just run away from vehicles, yeah. But you can potentially end up going down in properties in the meantime. I mean, the vehicles should show up and kind of win the day, but it can happen. The HQs are kind of tough to defend, though. The airport, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How annoying is that? When you build a copter, you aren't defending your HQ. A bomber does defend, but the copter is 1 away. And over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It still takes 2 turns from this base as well. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can go here in 2 turns with a rocket. That's kind of cute, though. Yeah, a Jess mech does as much. It does enough damage that it's still a threat. So the reloading the ammo part is kind of a joke. So many hiding spots for Sami infantry. Yeah. But yeah, on this map, most of the fighting happens on these fronts on the side, a little bit in the center. And what that can mean is if all your units are fighting on the sides here, as Sami infantry from way back here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, bam, just takes your HQ out of nowhere. neoSneed, you need to be yellow comment. Now, I would definitely say that Rachel has the advantage in this fight, as vehicles, while they like take a little bit of time to come online, they are still going to be the stronger unit, and these are really narrow fronts, so it's hard to not have your units clumped up to be and then destroyed by Rachel missiles once we get to that stage of the game. Early recons against Sami always pretty darn good. I do it. I think they're even stronger coming out of the 1 base rather than from the 2 base, which can feel pretty weird, but they take so much longer to come out this way. And the defending with vehicles on the 1 base happens a lot faster than it does on the 2 base, for the same reason why the recon comes out slower over here. So if I'm going recon first on this map, it's usually going to be out of the 1 base just because of how much faster it comes online in comparison to the opposing front. Yellow Comet does have 2 turns. So bop goes the recon. The tank doesn't quite reach. And of course the capture still goes through, as is Sami's privilege, but the usual idea here is that Sami gets the city and then you finish it off. Or finish off the infantry. And Sami starts bleeding the infantry count. Ooh, but that was not the case. It was just kind of a tag. I don't like it as much if it's just a tag, because once the Sami infantry gets to 7 health, they can still capture a city in 2 turns. Although now I'm liking the front shift more. If it's in prediction of Inland Empire going for this city in particular, it could have been useful. Ooh, but the tank still manages to reach. Recon survives, so it can still be used for vision, which is probably its most important role. Okay, here comes the tanks front switching. Very good. You, while when you're against Sami, you do love trading out infantry for infantry. You don't necessarily want to be in a fight, in an infantry versus infantry fight against Sami 1 base versus 2 base, as things can definitely go really poorly. Very strong attack there from Inland Emperor. In comes the tanks. Our first strike over there. Not great protection. That's okay. I mean, if the tank storm from neoSneed gets the damage in, then Inland Emperor can kind of collapse. But it looks like we're going to be able to hold. Maybe. I mean, the artillery gets into the woods, which is going to be really annoying for Rachel. Yeah, retreating with the tank, I think, makes sense. I'd put an infantry on the city just because of how much pressure it is and try and kill off all the infantry in range. Yeah, like that. You got the mech artillery. As long as you don't get too far forward, it's probably fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. Yeah. As long as you don't have your vehicles kind of touching this city, it should be not too much of an overextension. So having the mech and like the artillery back here is looking nice. Wow, Rachel does get this city. So that's really good news. Briefly gets an economic lead before this switches. It's recon living, really valuable. I don't know if the artillery is known about, but it looks like it's being assumed, which is probably a good idea. Inland Emperor does get this city, is up in unit count, which is what Sami always wants. But as I was saying before, these fronts are so narrow that you can already see, even at this stage of the game, day 11, not really anywhere close to the supers, missiles would be devastating already. I did change it to retro. It was suggested. I don't know if that changes really anything for the Twitch streaming. I can put it back to Advanced Wars. It doesn't really matter to me, but smack the artillery. It was suggested because more people follow the retro category. Okay, so a nice breakthrough here from neoSneed. Starts building a nice line of infantry. But this is what I was talking about before, where look at where the armies are. Look at the path to the HQ. There's already an infantry in these woods. If at any time Sami can just kind of do a massive sacrifice attack, get the super, it could be just game over. And starting from like this turn on, that's what Sami's going to be thinking about every single turn. It's like, can I just sacrifice my army to instantly win the game? neoSneed needs to put something on the HQ. It could pretty much be anything. You just want it to be so a single infantry can't take it for free. Okay, there we go. neoSneed is aware. It's like, okay, Copter, this is where you get to live. In desperation times, you can put a fighter on there, and then you're like, all right, Sami, you need to have 2 anti-airs to clear this. It's a little greedy to not have a single anti-air here for Rachel, but okay. We have a magnet being built. Oh, this is going to be painful. We have a value magnet over here. We have infantry HP magnet over here, but it's like, it's kind of massive. And we're going to see if neoSneed even uses the super. Ooh, okay, a health tank, sure. Does use it. Gonna hit all the back line here. Bop, bop. So this, I think this missile bait, pretty darn good. This one, a little excessive. That's kind of just forced because of how narrow these fronts are. Ouch. Now, injured Sami infantry can still super and take a property like any other, so it's not like the end of the world. It just makes this front a lot weaker if they got attacked. But currently, Rachel is more the one on the defensive, so it should be fine. But if you see, if you're Rachel and you see the 2 nukes land here, which you might not necessarily because it doesn't show that in fog, what you'd have to do is you go into the replay, you go into the log for the turn, and it will tell you the coordinates for each missile that landed. So you'll be able to see that they both landed down here. And as soon as you see that, you just strike on this front. I have a feeling that neoSneed did not do that, and so it doesn't actually know where the missiles landed, just knows that they landed somewhere. You could also have just saved the Rachel could have just saved the super. If there's not like active trading going on, it just gets more and more annoying for Sami. More and more claustrophobic. It's not the worst thing to use it and then be like, okay, now we'll build up for another turn and I'll try and get my super all in one giant fight. You could do that too. I mean, as is, Sami does get to, because there's absolutely no charge. Sami can be very greedy with this formation. We're almost at unit cap, so I wouldn't attack here as Rachel. Since you're almost at unit cap, and then if once you hit the unit cap, then your opponent's unit cap advantage will start slipping away from them. Oh, okay. Sami gets some nice attacks. Doesn't have to use the super. Doesn't even have the super. Quite the imposing strike force. It's so far forward though. I feel like here as Rachel, you probably just all out strike. It's really unfortunate there's a single anti-air though. And I'm feeling a little bit less sure about the all-out strike just because the composition's not quite strong enough. Okay, we're going for the victory march. There's definitely a few cities that can be taken. I don't know if the comm tower can actually be taken, though. Okay, we're breaking through. Mechs are mighty strong in Victory March. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There isn't actually any infantry in range of the HQ, though. You gotta be... It'd be a little iffy. Are we taking like 2 cities? You could get the kill with a mech. That's nice. I think just 2 cities fall. Yeah, we're gonna try and build a magnet back here. Take that city. That city. It had a bunch of infantry. The unit count is just like massively in Sami's favor. We will get a Rachel super. You probably do the Rachel super immediately. I don't know why we did a little bit of attacking there. Wow. That is some really good magnet making to have that claustrophobic of a front line and still manage to make magnets like that. One of the best bomber buys I've ever seen. Yeah, Rachel just resigns. GG. Amazing. Unit placement for that attack by Inland Emperor. Only got 2 properties. It's not like the biggest victory march. Although oftentimes you do kind of like the moderate victory march if it keeps more of your stuff safe. But like double transport copter, bomber on buy, battle copter takes the value missile. and still managed to get both the infantry and HP missile on cluster of injured infantry in the back. Nicely done. Very impressive. That is not easy. Is that in here? Secret Tech? Oh, it is. Secret Tech 3. Have we seen this one? We have not. This is a new Secret Tech from Steeler. Well, it gets to be big, I guess. Oh, I can make this smaller, right? Scale down. There we go. Apparently this one works in the replay viewer. Not all of them do. Alright, Steeler, you get to be Cobalt Ice. Let's see it. What shenanigans are about to be employed? This is a crispy map. Yeah. A famous map. This is Caustic Finale. It's ancient. Oh, okay. So we've seen this one before. Although I love how on the arrow for Advanced Wars for the replay, it just like cuts the arrow off. But this is the diagonal movement. We've seen that before. Oh, we couldn't get to this one though because of the river. I guess it's also because it's like right next to each other, right? So you can go one. Could have gone to here though. Could have gone 1, 2, 3. But that's strong, getting this base in one turn. We'll see what other shenanigans Steeler gets up to. So if you didn't know, Steeler is a dev for the website, and this was a bug that Steeler found and is testing it out. It's not an easy bug to exploit though. The diagonal movement. As you can see, it went 1, 2, 3. It's not something you can actually do on the client. It's something that you have to hard code in your commands. So it's not something that the average Joe would be able to do, and has been now fixed by Steeler. But it's something we've seen already, is the diagonal movement. I imagine we might see something new. It's so strong. Obviously, it's giving Steeler quite the advantage here. In Kindle versus Eagle. Unit count and income advantage for essentially free. So like if we're looking at what does the diagonal movement do for this infantry, it can go 1, 2, 3, start capturing here. It can go 1, 2, 3, capture there. 1, 2, 3, capture there. It has 3 different capture options already. Whoa. Okay. I don't know how. So if you don't know, artillery can move or shoot. They don't get to move and shoot. So if I had to assume what's happening here, having no dev knowledge. Hey, Inkagarg, you should learn this. You should learn this strat. It would helps with the artillery. If I had to assume what's happening here, having no actual knowledge of how it goes, I think what happens is Steeler says, I want my artillery to fire on this infantry. And then Steeler says, move my artillery before the game checks whether or not the infantry's in range. And then the artillery moves, and then the game says, okay, is that infantry in range? And it says, oh, yes, it is. And then the artillery fires. That's my completely ignorant to the coding of the game guess. 1, 2, 3. Decides to go for this city, okay. It makes artillery rather good, though. Artillery learned Days of Ruined battleship technique. And then, like, maybe you get to move because the attack isn't finalized? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how Steeler does these things. How on earth do you defend against artillery like that? The real thing that I'm gonna... It's so good. It's so good. I like how Steeler did the diagonal movement here, even though Steeler doesn't have to do the diagonal movement. What I want to know is, can Steeler do the opposite? Can Steeler fire and then move? I think the answer has to be no, because otherwise we'd be seeing Steeler do it all the time with like infantry. Like the infantry would fire and then walk away. Poor Stealth Fighter Association, who I believe is Poland. Is that right? Someone. It's one of the top guys. An alt. All right. What kind of shenanigans? Building more artillery. Well, okay. We got some. I don't know what's going on here. So Steeler moved the infantry, built a single artillery, and then ended the turn. That is highly suspicious. I don't... That might have been done as like a... Here, help you catch up in the game. Or Steeler just wants to build a battleship. And doesn't care about anything else. Because we do have 28k. Look at the combination. We got diagonal movement and the move shoot. This is not a live game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, fire. Seems good. Oh, that's true. I don't know if Steeler has a way of getting to the missiles. I don't think so. Only action. Didn't build a battleship. That's what I was suspecting would happen. Game ends in a draw. Ah. Yeah, I mean, Steeler had some really good possible plays there. Like, artillery can move and then fire here and just kill this tank in one hit. Seems rather good. Testing must have been over. 1, 2, 3, 4. Fire. Move and scoot indirects. I know, didn't build a rocket. Didn't build a battleship. Okay. Seems rather good. The shenanigans of Steeler. Thavidu is next. This will be a non-shenanigans game. We're back to actual games. Thavidu versus Earl of Lemongrab. Rainbow's End. Eagle versus Olaf. You want to see some compensation for the other player? I guess we had skipped turns. Make that bigger again. We might have missed something. Because Steeler did like one action and then nothing else I saw happen. So it's possible that the replay viewer just missed it. Next Quack Cup is just Steeler tech. I'm sure there'll be more Steeler shenanigans in the future. Okay. I don't know if I'm familiar with this. I'm a little familiar with this map. But we've got Eagle versus Olaf, a classic matchup in Tier 2. This is one of the rare matchups where it kind of feels awful on both sides to play. Look at all these fancy city skips. From Earl of Lemongrab, combined with recon harassment. I think it feels bad for anyone to fight Eagle and Olaf. What's this? Huh. I wonder why it went down. I guess it's just whatever. It's fine. City skip and then walk over to this city. Okay. I don't think I like that city skip. I think I preferred it when it looked like it was going down here to go for one of these captures. Because this city, I feel like, can actually be assigned to this base. Like this guy goes for the harbor and then goes for this. As this guy goes here and then goes for this city. I think you just kind of steal a capture away from this guy. A little inefficient, maybe. But that's why you gotta try out the different games, try out your different capture phases. It's all good. I do like this. I think I like the city skip variation more than Thavidu's approach here, but we'll see. It would be interesting to like decide which city are you city skipping for. 1, 2. You can either go here, here, or here. And you want to go for one that's like hard to capture, but easy to hold. I don't know which one that necessarily is though. Maybe this one? Well, they make maps with the Tier 2 meta in mind. Hey, Grit's Tier 1 in Fog. I think making Grit Tier 2 is fine. You could probably make Grit Tier 3 or 4, honestly. He's like so bad in Fog. But they've changed up a bit. They've like introduced Von Bolt into the new Tier 2 as well as Javier. It makes Tier 1 a little weird, right? Kind of like Sasha Hawke is Tier 1 now. Sasha Hawke Grit. If Grit could move and shoot, that would be really good. I know, imagine Victory March or Diagonal Movement. We've seen it, we've seen it. That was in a different stream. Steeler Tech number 2. There was Victory March with Diagonal Movement and being able to move the infantry that are inside transports. So they're just moving around invisible on the map and going for captures. You know, fair. We have a push coming in from Thavidu on the bottom. It's a little interesting. It's the opposite. Artillery in the front, tank in the forest. Sometimes that's just how the unit movement works out. Recon spots the artillery. And the early-ish Thavidu. Oof. Tank tragically trapped against this infantry. It's kind of fine though, because if you like look at this, I don't like the artillery next to the empty city. That is absolutely wild. But it's kind of fine that you get trapped here, because if Earl of Lemongrab finishes this capture, you have like artillery fire, tank or infantry fire. Infantry starts to capture if you want. That's pretty darn good. Yeah, I think even though it feels absolutely awful as Earl of Lemongrab, you probably just abandon this capture. I say that knowing full well that if I was in that situation, I would finish the capture, lose my infantry, lose the capture. Besides not use the artillery, just use the tank. That's also fine. Yeah, like so. Something I've noticed when I've been playing my games recently is I no longer think about the game. I think about how I would talk about the game state, and then I just make awful moves. Like I would do the exact same thing except I would do what Earl of Lemongrab is doing, but as I do it, I would say how bad it is in my head. I'd be like, what? And don't worry, you'll see games in the future that will show exactly what I'm talking about. Okay. I do like the attack over here from Earl of Lemongrab. Get some like compensation for losing stuff over here. There's 0 vehicles over here. Classic. Like strong side, weak side. Also sends the infantry in to try and hold the city. Just more and more losses. We call those poison cities. Send in another infantry, probably. Lose another one. Yep. Recon gets taken out. The interrupt here makes much more sense. It is pretty nice as you have all these vehicles over here to back it up. It doesn't mean like the central captures are getting a little bit weaker. But it's kind of like, what's the long game on this front? And currently it is just lose all the infantry. It's fine to join. I think it might be better not to join. Obviously, if you do join, now they have to send 2 units. But you can always have like the 1 health infantry stand here or something. And then start with the 10 health. Because it still captures in 2 turns regardless. This does kind of force... does force 2 units to strike. Smack, smack. Okay. Recon goes over here. Looks like we're going to be like accepting the loss of the city now. It's so painful every time. Like, oh, I guess I do lose that city. But very nicely held up here for Earl of Lemongrab. And yeah, since all the vehicles were up here, the city did get interrupted. Thavidu with the absolute power move to not go for the capture on the lab, to just stand on the lab. And that's why we call those poison cities. But this is dominance if you've ever seen it. Imagine if this was an HQ and you did that to your opponent. You just stand on their HQ with a full health infantry, but you don't capture it. Just the mental damage you do to them. The sheer confidence in the game state. This is like half of the HQ currently. Okay. Lemongrab. Kind of split between the fronts. This is always a little bit risky because you don't want them too far apart so they can't help each other or like threaten different things. That doesn't quite make sense. If they're far enough apart, they can threaten different things. But if they're too far apart, they can't help each other, and your opponent can kind of coalesce their whole army and take out half of yours and then half the other, like the other half next. Okay, now starts the capture on the lab. I'm a little disappointed in that. I did really like the just standing on the lab. I imagine it was a misclick though. If you don't know, since there's no HQ on this map, you lose if you have no labs. So a lab it's kind of half an HQ, but they don't give you any money. And there's a backup one in the center. Ooh, a nice attack in here for Thavidu. I forgot we were actually doing Eagle versus Olaf, so we have to pay attention to these supers, as they are very important. And we get into the age-old question of what's better. Do you use the Eagle super during a Winter Fury or after? As we go for the Winter Fury right away here for Earl of Lemongrab. And we get an interrupt here. It was into artillery range, but we do have like the weather supporting Earl of Lemongrab. And Thavidu is still a whole bar away. Snow is, of course, quite the menace. It doesn't affect roads, shoal, and urban terrain. But otherwise, all units have... it also doesn't affect forests for vehicles, I think, but it does for infantry? Question mark? I'm not sure, actually. But pretty much all units have one extra movement requirement for moving into terrain, well, like plains. Or if you're a flying unit, all terrain takes an extra movement, so that your movement is halved and rounded down, essentially. Okay, so we are going to go for the Lightning Strike in the Winter Fury, inside the Winter Fury. So that there's like the downside and the upside, right? The upside is that Olaf doesn't get any charge off of this. So that's nice. Because it does kind of suck when Olaf hits you with a Winter Fury, you wait till the snow ends, you use your Lightning Strike, and then Olaf just hits you with another Winter Fury because like they got enough charge from your Lightning Strike. Now the downside is now the Lightning Strike is in the snow, so a lot of your units can't necessarily get to attack. But it looks like for Thavidu, most of them still do, so that's pretty darn good. And the Lightning Strike in the Winter Fury was clearly a good option there because now Olaf doesn't get all that charge. Because Lightning Strike is definitely the stronger power, I would say. It just can sometimes run into problems when Olaf can get multiple Winter Furies off per Lightning Strike. And it looks like Thavidu is going to get this property. I imagine this one's going to be contested. Ooh, whoa, very gutsy to charge in here. No fear. Does reveal the forest, kills off the unit, doesn't get to contest this property, does contest this one. I think this is wise. letting this, it's interesting. I don't know if you let this go. Because moving down here is almost the same as attacking this city, because these are all like in range of the defenders of the city. So you might as well interrupt the city if you're moving into range of it anyway. Would be my logic. I mean, you're going to get hit by an artillery. You're kind of set up to strike over there anyway. And now it gives them a turn to like, I took the city and run away. Which is not quite what Thavidu does, but something fairly similar. Okay, decides to go for this city. Backed up with the artillery in the woods. Always a handy dandy unit. Okay. Starts taking these cities. I like it. Can try and just do like a sacrifice of the fronts here. Or like a front swap where it's like, I take this stuff, you take this stuff. Life is good for both of us. Does send one infantry in here to hit, which I think is fine. It's like up 10 units at the end of their turn. Not the worst. Start trading it out for some economic lead / stall, especially if they have a limited number of infantry on their front. This is like, it's more than just like slowing down this capture, it's also slowing down all the captures that follow from this infantry. Take out this recon. Very gutsy for Earl of Lemongrab to send this recon in here. It can sometimes, like, it can be good, but to send them forward, get like an infantry hit and see where the opponent's stuff is, that is nice. But I would prefer to do that if you have another recon to like replace it in the area. You really don't want to lose your recon and then just have no vision of the opponent's army for any fight that might be coming. Very nice attack up here from Thavidu. Also a little shy of recons in this area, but very much aware of a significant defending force. This artillery is real mean. We have like the possible role of infantry kills infantry on city. Tank kills artillery, then the neo tank can come over here and like hit this tank fairly safely. There's no, I don't know how much of that was visible because there was no okay. Starts attacking down here. We give the artillery in the woods. He will flip for Thavidu. Now everyone's going to be checking every turn whether or not they can get the super. I don't think that Thavidu can get the super right now, but can do a lot of damage and can probably overcharge Earl of Lemongrab for quite a bit. He's thinking about how to go about it right now. Both COs really don't like getting overcharged because their supers are just so strong. Oh, it's a good thing there isn't an Eagle super, because otherwise, rest in peace, this entire army. Interesting that the medium tank just chilled in these woods. I think I might have actually, like, I mean, it's very aggressive, but you could maybe even go on this city, because there's just so many targets for Olaf already. And then your medium tank is right in the fray. It's going to repair up to 10 for the lightning strike and everything. But maybe it would have been too dangerous. I mean, that stuff did kind of get wiped. But I think 2 tanks would have been spared as they attack your medium tank. I don't know. A little gutsy for the neo tank to go forward. It is in the woods. And artillery over here did get taken out. Look, oh, no, it just fell back to this. We have another lightning strike in the snow. The snow's doing a better job this time of kind of slowing the lightning strike a little bit. There's not too many attacks happened for the first round of it. Like the initial turn. It's just going to be the follow-up. It looks like Thavidu might not actually do it. I think you have to, though. Like, this army moved so far forward, it can't just stand there. Oh, isn't gonna do it. Oh, is gonna do it. What? Okay, now I'm confused. So this army attacked like it's lightning striking. I guess this one's just gonna run away from the Neo tank. I guess the 8 health artillery firing just wasn't really intimidating enough. That's a really weak lightning strike. But still, I mean, really far ahead, so every lightning strike doesn't have to be a complete game winner. It's still one down here, killed the medium tank. And both these cities flip. I mean, not like a game-winning lightning strike, but definitely an advantageous one, so probably the wise call. It's not the Rhymer strategy of save the lightning strike until you just win on the spot, which is, I guess, usually the approach that's favored. But you can always just use it like this, where it's more like a regular super. You just use it for advantage. And it definitely doesn't feel good for Earl of Lemongrab here. Thavidu is up 8k as Eagle. That's a lot of Eagle units to be built. And it probably means that the next lightning strike is going to be game ending. Now, luckily, Olaf's super does scale with your opponent's unit count and unit value, so some of that income is going to be offset, but I mean 8k is a lot to deal with every single turn. Looks like Thavidu might fall into like Neo-Tank infantry, as that's exactly 24k spent. We'll see. Earl of Lemongrab gets an attack in. I think that's probably GG. Maybe Thavidu can't quite reach the super. It would take some... I don't like that the artillery fired on this Neo tank right away. I think that was probably a mistake, because you can do sacrifices, but sacrifices are best against injured units. Although I think it's still fine. I think Thavidu gets there no problem. And this is what's really scary against Eagle, is like Eagle and the Olaf kinda can all do this, where in Hawke, I guess, where they slam in, take like bad positions or bad trades, and then pop their super and absolutely crush you. Which means they can give themselves a lot of charge, but this is going to be an absolutely game-ending lightning strike. Not quite able to rout Earl of Lemongrab, but close to single-digit unit count. Down to 12 with a whole bunch left. Blizzard, Resign, GG. A whole bunch left in danger range. If this game had continued, then Thavidu would have gotten a rout. GG. I liked the Earl of Lemongrab like early capture route. I think that, I don't know if these properties though, as we saw, this one was not really that easy to hold on to. I guess it has to be this is the one that you'd go for early, because you can get an artillery in these woods. would be the plan, but I don't know. GG. Next we have Tobex versus thenightsshadow. Settles a still water version 3. Jess mirror. Eagle has over 150,000 unit value. Some say it is the threshold that Eagle wins. Oh, I didn't know about that. I could see that potentially being true. Barely fit it like that. Is this Smacky Cup round 4? No, this is Global League, right? Oh, this is Smacky Cup round 4. My gosh. I didn't realize it was tier 4. I guess that makes sense. I'll do it that size. Okay. Hello. You don't like this map? We've got a Jess mirror. So this map usually, at least, I have more experience playing on the original version of this map. This is version 3. It's had a few updates. But it traditionally has like early infantry drop-offs over here, and to like counter that from your opponent, you go for early recon opener and like it scoots along these roads, and it takes a while for your opponent to really be able to deal with the recons. But it looks like yellow. Okay, yellow Tobex here is going for the early recon moves. And a really fast comm tower. I don't like that, but it is a comm tower that can often be contested. But this costs like a lot of early game money to go for. Like if you compare the like captures going on here, this is probably safe against the recon. The Nightshadow definitely was not prepared for this recon strike. Probably just anticipated it and was like, okay, it's going to hit one of my captures, but the rest will go through. But we're about to see a lot of I guess the lander does take the tank up here right away, so that's not so bad. We're about to see a pretty big income gap start to form. As already, ooh, look out! Tobex was so anti-recon here. It's like, I don't want anyone messing with my comm tower. I have my tank ready before I go for these captures, and there's just not a recon in sight. But already Tobex is ending the turn behind an income, when you should be, if you want to be even in the game, you want to be half a turn ahead, as I always say. So you'd want to be ahead at the end. Like the Nightshadow's ahead, 3k, pretty nice. It's going to be starting ahead by a 1k still. So capture phase has kind of gotten that economic turn advantage going pretty nicely. It's still going to be ending ahead by 1k. Comm towers don't give any money, which is why part of what happened there. Why the capture phase is going so well for the Nightshadow. Tank spots the this is a great spot for Tobex though. That's basically a free recon kill. Jess with a comm tower against a recon on the road. I think that's just a one shot. I don't think it's a roll. And maybe it is a roll. To find out. Pop. I guess we didn't find out if it's a roll or not. What up? Yeah, the earlier versions had black boat instead of a lander. The lander does help against the recon harassment. Nice placement from Tobex with this artillery. Unfortunately loses a recon though for the exchange. Still though, the nice shadow doing a nice job. It's gonna have another turn, like has constantly be having the turns end economically ahead. And it's definitely adding up. Gets the interrupt over here, which is nice. Still starting to turn. Almost starting to turn ahead in unit value. Not unit count though. Unit count still looking very respectable for both. Ooh. Spicy attacks into the artillery and tank. They don't have any backup right now, so they kind of have to run. They could try and fight this out. Like the artillery can fire here, which is pretty respectable. Knocks the tank down to 4. The only concern I have though is like this recon can bully this artillery. But like, yeah, you get like infantry finishes off tank, recon hits infantry. It's not the worst. Yeah, that's still looking pretty nice. Because while the recon can bully the artillery, now there's nothing spotting the artillery, and you don't really want to send the tank down here to hit like this recon just to spot the artillery and maybe lose both units. So Tobex turns that around really nicely. Night Shadow still maintaining great income lead. Capture phase just working out. So far the tactical fights have been keeping Tobex in the game pretty nicely though. Still behind at the end, but unit value wise, okay. We've been getting these really nice tactics from Tobex. Kills off this unit, traps this tank, it can't get away. Starts going for these captures. I like this capture because the artillery covers like these 2 tiles, which are the most likely ones I think for a unit from over here to attack from. But like this one's not really covered, so I don't know. I guess the tank covers, but it's a little iffy. Copter gets a strike in. Ooh, we go for the normal power. Does kill the tank that's working as a blocker. Oh, this anti-air really wishes it took a ride on the lander. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It just can't reach the air units. I was having it reach the opposing copter, which doesn't make any sense. But if it was here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, it could hit this one out with a power. This can still go Tobex's way, but that was a pretty nice power from the Night Shadow. Very aggressive. We're going to use a normal power back. And hit that tank. I assume the copter is going to like hit this tank from over here or something. There's quite a bit here for the Night Shadow. So even though I think Tobex has had some pretty spot on tactics, I think they're just going to get overwhelmed down here. You gotta be ready to like cut and run. I say, knowing full well I probably wouldn't be cutting and running. That was such a... You definitely wait to get vision of like the other tiles first. Full health artillery kills 1 health infantry is spicy. Like it could kill the recon, for instance. It goes for the copter strike. I don't know if that's really that great of a trade. It does force the anti-air into the woods, but kind of losing a copter to do 5 damage. Anti-air is still out of range over here, so this copter is getting a lot of work done. The infantry count from Tobex is falling, so the Night Shadow is probably going to successfully hold on to all of this stuff. Okay, we strike in here. Things are starting to go, are going to start going really poorly, but the Night Shadow income lead is starting to hit those front lines really nicely. We have the medium tank here. Oof, that is a nice artillery coverage. The opposing tanks can hit you though. Yeah, we'll see. Right now, it's not spotted. So it's possible that this won't get spotted, is what Tobex is hoping, I think. You're like, okay, maybe the medium tank will hit me, and then everything else will just leave me alone. So it does hit. If the infantry doesn't hit over here and like spot this artillery, then it's possible. Oh, the recon went down here. Wow, that was... Oh, this tank can reach too. Oh my gosh. The artillery move is gonna pay off. Mighty gutsy. Although, I mean, the Night Shadow is... It's not like the Night Shadow's units are doing nothing instead of attacking over here. They are actually killing stuff. So, it's kind of like a limited win, while the Night Shadow is kind of storming the entire bottom right of the map very successfully. Has a Neo tank headed down there. And it's not like it's a game over win either. It's an artillery shot on a medium tank on its own city. And there's not like a medium tank to follow it up. But it's still real fancy. You should start by going for the vision. I also say it while not doing it. Hey there, Red James. Why is it named Smacky Cup? It's because Smacky was a past developer of the game. All of the tournaments are named after developers. The A Mariner Cup is, of course, named after the guy that made, originally made the website A Mariner, and still hosts it. Yeah, you get it's a nice shot. Okay, Tobex cleaning up over here pretty nicely. The problem is going to be the infantry count's going to like not be able to capitalize as much as you need. If the overdrive responds, the Night Shadow is down 10 units, but the brawl is ongoing. That's okay. Please let the Neo tank, if it's going over here, have it hit the infantry. You want to do the furthest back units first. I think you don't strike in up here because you want to be able to build up units first. Maybe not. Maybe it's okay. No. Why? I guess the artillery doesn't have a better target either, but you can like move it. The Neo tank, I guess it's hidden. I guess it's fine. We can smack in here. I think the Neo tank doesn't even go over here though. I think you just send it up towards the middle is the better play, while still having like range maybe on this city to cover it. If a tank smacks, the Neo tank can come in and ruin the day. I do really like the Night Shadow just tagging all of these infantry. It's back to a pretty respectable unit count. Maybe a little low for ongoing brawls, but still fine. Because the Night Shadow does have an income lead, although it is just 1k at this point, so it's not like end of the world levels, but hitting all the infantry on the front you're losing can definitely be good. Because then you can kind of give up control for a little bit and not lose too much, then come back with the rest of your stuff. We should have one of live tournaments named for Walker. Whereas Walker is not a past dev, he's a current dev. That's when I believe that's been Walker's reasoning. Ooh, Tobex going for the stealth. I like it. It's a desperation move, but it's a Jess stealth. We'll see what they can get done. There isn't a free black boat in the center like there has been in the past. There's still a black boat by the HQ if you want to send a stealth over there. We'll see if the stealth gets stuff done. It might just be too much of a tempo. It's probably too much of a tempo loss, though. Like, you can't really build a stealth as you lose a front. It has to be before. Because it takes so long to get down there. In comparison to, like, build a neo tank, hop in the land, or drop off the same, like, the next turn, way down here. Mega tank from the neoSneed. Oh. That is indeed not in vision before it goes stealth. And it has a respectable target. It can hit neo-tanks pretty hard. Not as hard as a bomber, but still pretty darn well. The neoSneed now at a 4k income lead. Starts this capture, goes for a power. Oh, hits, oh, for the first strike. Okay, yeah, it's a pretty good first strike. I don't know if you need to use the power for that first strike, though. You could just go for the first strike. Very confident, though. Keeps attacking in here. So I get to see the stealth strike at the Neo. Pop down to 3. Then uses the overdrive. Pop down to 1. The Neo barely lives. The recon can go back, but I think it's going to be... Oh, it is going to go back. Finish off the Neo. Thought I was going to interrupt this capture. That's okay. Now the main problem... Well, the main problem that people run into on this map with stealths is that it's, of course, quite the long run. So then the stealth runs out of fuel. And it kind of crashes and burns. But that's not so much of an issue for Tobex because they're Jess. They can refuel their stealth with the power. The other problem is, of course, that fighters, while they take a little while to get over there, it's not as long as stealths do, because 9 moves a lot faster than 6. Recon's killing Neo tanks the way it should be. You can't put a stealth in a cruiser. You can put a stealth in a carrier. Casual 30k unit to boost your 24k unit. A worthwhile investment. Ooh, a nice shadow. Doing the casual, like, I will just ignore the fact that you have a stealth. Now, stealths do also hit copters pretty easily, so it's definitely paying for itself here. Helped kill a neo tank, although it kind of acted like a neo tank trade, so not amazing there. But then one shot's a stealth, or not stealth, a battlecopter. You have the anti-airs being built. You're gonna need them. The fighter is definitely incoming. It's pretty likely that there wasn't a fighter already on the board, though, so you can kind of count. What? Oh, I don't know what that was going on. Maybe a bunch of units were waiting. You can kind of count the turns until a fighter will be there, assuming that, like, the fighter was built when the stealth was revealed. We'll see. I have like one more turn of being safe. Double fighter, though, is pretty nice if your opponent has to build 2. Then your stealth is very cost effective. You can't have too little fighting, though, because Tobex unfortunately used a super, so it's not like you can just kind of fire off on normal power easily now to refuel the poor little stealth. It can make its way up to this black boat, though. Okay, it's down to 24 fuel. Not in range of the fighter. Although it could potentially be. Ooh, no fear mega tank. Mac. See the neo tank. Fortunately, there's not too many like Tobex units that manage to escape. Wow, that's so aggressive. You gotta cover up the fighter. You gotta cover up the fighter. You can't let their anti-airs kill your fighter. The anti-airs are gonna kill the fighter. And then the stealth gets a power. Oh my gosh. Well. Tobex gonna be fine at the bottom. I don't know how fine they're gonna be at the top. They can drain the ammo of the mega tank. They can go like tank hit, recon hit, neo tank gets to hit for free kind of a deal. I don't know if they're gonna do that. They get to kill that neo tank. Hit the infantry. In comes the oh, not yet. In comes the anti-air. Fighter goes down to 1. Stealth's just gonna kill a tank. That's not amazing, but it is what it is. You take the targets you can take, and you're happy you knocked the fighter down to 1. Okay, so yeah, didn't do like sacrificial attacks onto the mega tank. It probably wasn't worth it. Okay, trapped on the stealth, gets the recon, gets the copter. Unfortunately, it doesn't have a way of dealing with like the heavy medium or the medium tank. Starts repairing the fighter, sends the other fighter over here. Builds another rocket. Builds another fighter. Oh my gosh. I really don't like this bomber buy from Tobex, by the way. Like, you're already forcing fighters out to deal with your stealth. You don't really want to build a unit that dies to that, or dies to them. I understand it's like, I don't like this how scary this mega tank is kind of a deal, but just build a mega tank of your own. Bombers aren't even that amazing at fighting them. Stealth is getting so many hits in. This has maybe been the most valuable stealth I've ever seen. Smack, smack. Very painful for Tobex. Yeah, goodbye Neo Tank. One shot on a city. Mega Tank doing Mega Tank things. They both have like special units for Jess that Jess makes better for the refueling spec. Refueling and rearming. The Night Shadow does have like a really nice income lead, but is dumping so much into fighting this stealth. Tobex is gonna next turn. Tobex is gonna be so disappointed in how much damage this bomber does to this mega tank. Now somehow, even though the Night Shadow has 3 fighters, there is nothing, not even an anti-air over here, to actually protect this mega tank. So the bomber can harass it and kill it over 3 turns. I love it. Fighter dives in, hits the T-copter. The stealth's like, oh, not me, not me. Whoa. The fighter had a choice. If it hit here and smacked, this fighter would have been able to hit him. The Mega Tank is out of ammo, but it doesn't really have anything that can harass it currently. Are we dropping off an anti-air? Maybe next turn? Really? Double fighter. Well, triple fighter technically. The 3 health fighter can't be sacrificed, which is why it's out there, I think. Does the stealth kill the fighter and then, like, just try and protect it? I think it would even work. Because, well, I guess this recon would be able to spot what's blocking where. Oh, you don't want to do it there. No. You want to strike back here. You want to be away from those front lines. Now both fighters can reach. Okay, now only one can. So I guess if, like, T-Copter goes here, Copter goes here, then it's fine. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's okay. It's okay. You can't. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, that means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Pop. Recon spots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh no, the recon needs a super to get there. Wow, that stealth is like barely defended. There's no anti-air over here for Tobex, so the fighters can kind of dive in. Fine. And the bomber doesn't even get to hit the mega tank. There we go. Tobex builds a mega tank of their own. Imagine if Tobex had dropped off 2 anti-airs. Just like how devastating that would be. The TheSneakyDragon, no fear. No fear. Builds a stealth as well. Imagine being the stealth, seeing both fighters. Run stealth. Oh, it's down to 14 fuel. It's gonna force a power next turn. I guess that is something the TheSneakyDragon can do. Just like sit back and stall and have Tobex forced to use a power. Actually, I just realized this is a tournament game and we're approaching the day limit. Uses the super. Has to dive in. Tobex needs to capture 2 of the opponent's cities to draw. Is it day 35 or is it just day 30? I don't remember. I know standard is day 30. I thought they extended the duration for fog games, but that might have been on the Discord cups. Where'd the other fighter go? Did the other fighter die? Wait. Did I miss the fighter dying? I did. The anti-air got to the fighter. Huge swing in, but no property. Like, some got interrupted, but most of the attackers get taken out. I mean, Copter hits the anti-airs a little weird, but that's okay. The stealth could hit this, or the fighter could hit the stealth if the recon gets lucky. So the recon's just gonna chill there. That's fine. So we're on day 30. I'm in danger. This stealth has been very valuable. 4 to the Neo tank. It's kind of being sacrificed for the greater good here. Forced by the time limit, the day limit to act. Okay, it must be 35 then. Or maybe not. I guess it'd be the end of the Night Shadow's turn here to... The copter! Oh no, it's gonna die to the infantry. I was like, the copter lived? No way! Smack. Stealth down to 1. The Night Shadow forever remembers day 30 as the day that the stealth got hit. Builds another fighter. Okay, we are on day 31, so the limit must be 35. And he survives. Ooh. Mega goes down. I mean, the stealth is still a really annoying unit at 1 health. Although, the fact that this fighter lives this anti-air hit does mean the fighter gets to finish it off. I assume. Ooh. No fear bomber. Bomber's about to have fear of stealth. The end. The end of a reign of terror and the beginning of a new one, maybe? Night Shadow gets another property. Has an APC for the stealth. Sends the fighter down here. The rocket in the woods just kind of getting free control over here. That's kind of a difficult wood to check. But I guess process of elimination at this point should let Tobex know that the rocket is in here. Just because like these ones have already been seen. Still very good control for the Night Shadow. Bomber tries to flee. Even though the stealth moves slower, the bomber had to move past the stealth, so the stealth can just catch up and finish it off. Like so. Okay. Definitely both players are kind of running out of gas on the fronts. Oh, sick. I mean, it's doomed to fail because the Night Shadow still has amazing control over here, but Tobex is going for a potentially winning play. Night Shadow gets the super off. It's going to clear every single city that's being captured. Kill off all the infantry. Oh, this one survived it too. This guy could have gone and stopped it. Turbocharge response from Tobex. Don't think it's possible to win anymore. Goes for this capture. These guys can just interrupt it from the other side. We have a fighter heading off for the stealth. Megatank barely fails to kill this rocket, and we're gonna take it out by the opposing Megatank. Rest in peace. These units did not... For some reason, this tank was like, nah, I don't care about this city. I guess it's because the rocket can interrupt it? Is that why? It does interrupt. Down goes the transport copter. Stealth fails to kill the tank. Classic stealth. Triple missile. That's GG. I think if this wasn't a tournament game, Tobex might have ended up winning. I think the day limit kind of forced Tobex into a position they didn't want, but they were getting a lot of value out there. Some really good tactics from Tobex. The neoSned's opening and capture phase was just like so much better though. Most valuable stealth though. Most valuable stealth. GG. I'm gonna get one more game in, maybe two. We're going a little long, just because I won't be able to stream for a while. Maybe we'll try and get to 7 vs 1 no COs banned. All right, Olaf. Wait, OlafISCancer first. Not Poland, but Poland. A matchup. Hawke versus Max. In standard? There's no way, right? Like, and this map's got good artillery? All right. This is a live game. I guess it's because it's live. It helps Max go up in the... Is Max tier 1 in Live League? Okay. It's still a tough fight, right? Like, look at how close the terrain is. Max is going to have to, like, rely heavily on air units, I think? We'll see. We'll see what Hawke's game plan is here. I mean, Olaf will, or not Olaf, Max is going to get the first. I kind of want these guys facing each other. There we go. Max is definitely going to get the first power. Goes for the interrupt on this comm tower. Nothing to cover against the copter though, so that's going to... It does kind of lose the infantry for it, but I guess the infantry can't really go for this capture because the copter stops that too. Over here, Yellow Comet just gets this city. Looking pretty good for Hawke. Ooh, Olaf goes in with the on the comm tower. We do have the anti-air to back this up, so that's not so bad. We get to like have some tank trades start happening, but that is definitely what Max wants. Okay, I like the local superiority that that Max has got going on over here. All right, that is covered by the anti-air if this tank dies, which it's going to die. This, you know what? I was dubious at first at this Max, but oh whoa, never mind. Really? Retreats with the tank. I thought it was going to sack in. Does it not kill if you just like sack tank? I guess you maybe not. Okay. I mean, this is fine too. It just means that this one doesn't get hit. It's fine. Anti-air gets hit, or gets here. We didn't have the... Hawke didn't build the copter here. That would have been an option if you like anticipate... Or, I mean, you see the anti-air coming in and you think you can maybe kill it off. Well, I don't think that's actually going to happen, so... Really good job by Max. We don't see a single artillery built. Because, I mean, if you were looking in this situation, like this tank is instead an artillery, it's, I think, looking a lot better for this fight. Builds copter now. Here, okay. falls back a little bit. Max starts getting this capture. We do deny this comm tower. I mean, denying the comm tower from Hawke is nice, because then Hawke doesn't get to that nice, the pristine plus 20% firepower. Yeah, see, this is more what I was expecting. Is like, my copter's going to go down. I'll build another copter. Your anti-air hits me, but then I kill your anti-air is the plan. It's a little weird to build the copter afterwards, and then the anti-air just kind of falls back and starts covering everything. As can potentially heal and everything. We don't have... I mean, Max has done so much more damage in this game. We're going to get the Hawke power off first, potentially. The anti-air, it kind of has to go in. It doesn't want to. But if it doesn't go in... Oh my gosh. Is that even safe? Like, Max can chase that down. And no... Whoa, okay, wait. No anti-air is built? Max doesn't want to chase it down. I mean, it is definitely dangerous to chase it down. I was thinking maybe there'd be a max power thing, but Max is totally fine holding. Okay, we're interrupting over here, so I assume we're going to be interrupting over here. Yep. They're even in income, but Max is starting the turn ahead in unit value, which is really nice. Are we 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? I mean, I guess you could kill the copter. I don't know if you want to. It kind of sucks to kill copters on the airport, because they kill your anti-air and they just rebuild the copter in the exact same spot, and you feel like you accomplished nothing, unless your anti-air lives, of course. Okay, we're going to use the Hawke normal power here. Does interrupt everything. Beep, 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 beep. Although, it has to get this guy down to 1 or dead. Stop this comm tower. Okay, I like it. Take out the 5 health anti-air. This one's going to be safe, though. Starts going for this capture. He's a little concerned for the HQ. I would be too. Ooh, Max strikes before the comm tower. I mean, that strike mattered. Is Max not going to take the comm tower? I guess it's the only healthy infantry that can get in range of the HQ. So you might not want to go for it. Oh my god. Okay. Having a few things that kind of care about the comm tower, but not like a ton. No. Okay, well, it's fine. It's fine. Comm tower got, that's what matters. There's some nice tank engagements over here, but it looks fine for Max. I mean, the tanks are low, but they can sack in to break the wall. And like this, the 4 health tank's probably the easiest spot to break. And the copter still doesn't, well, it literally doesn't have a target, but it also doesn't want to engage over there. We have a lot of pressure. First indirect. A lot of pressure on this HQ. Max is in no hurry, though. We do have a sacrifice. Stands on the HQ. We're going to max force. Is probably try and get this. We're going to get the copter to hit the copter as the anti-air clears the tank. Knocks it down to 1. Pretty good, though, as that's the only thing that can actually hit the copter over here. Yeah, no, I'm kind of convinced about the max tier 1 thing. Very impressive. Okay, more artillery coming out. That's going to be pretty annoying for trying to take the HQ. But I don't think Max has to take the HQ. Although all the injured infantry over here does mean that Hawke can just kind of back up. Okay, starts taking the HQ. Wow. Wait, what? The artillery fires on the tank? You can't do that. No. Isn't that just GG? Okay, builds a rocket. Okay. Base lock, save the HQ. The reason you can't do that is this captures again, and the artillery doesn't knock this, like, doesn't kill it. Because after it captures, a 1 health infantry will be able to finish it. But I think artillery plus copter does, for sure. Although... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, it's so close. Well, with a power, yeah. I was gonna say it's so close for Max to like just be able to take out this artillery. But you can only get 1 hit. It's only from a copter. They do a little less damage than tanks to them. Still goes for it. I mean, it forces a base skip, I guess, but it costs a whole copter. Yeah. I don't like that move. I don't think Hawke even... Oh, Hawke probably didn't need to use the max power, I guess. Okay. Copter chilling on the airport. Moving on in. Yeah, Max is like, yeah, this is kind of doomed, huh? Starts backing off away from the HQ. The indirects are going to start being a real problem. It's a pretty closed off map. You're going to have to produce more air units, I think. If you get both comm towers as Max, I think you could probably just get 1-shots on all the tanks, though. The same type units? Maybe only on roads, though. Well, I don't think it lives because, well, maybe the copter lives if you join caps, because then the artillery has to fire with the rocket, maybe? Whoa. Is that... Okay, we're going full on indirects here. We have the missile. Artillery covers the airport. I like it. They have a hard time defending itself from the copter harassment, but still something. We have the double comm tower for Max, which is real nasty. I think if Max gets a power, then this will start to crumple. Did we join cap this? We did. Not a huge join cap though. Artillery, infantry. Starts moving the heavy vehicles out. Tech ups can be definitely really annoying for Max. Another tech up. So many tanks. Max probably should get something other than tanks. Doesn't agree though. Okay. Hawke starts attacking in. Medium tanks, a real problem over here because there's no copters that made the transition. I guess if Max gets the super, then it's not so bad because then you get at least one big copter swing in. Okay, well, we don't have the super, so we're just using the normal power. I'm a little concerned for Hawke up here. There's a lot of copters. Anti-airs are far back there, but I feel like if it comes to the point that like all these units below get wiped out, then it doesn't really matter if the anti-airs get 2 hits. See, this is where having those artillery, they're nice, right? And this is also going to be one of those situations where it kind of feels bad to hit the copter. They kill your anti-air, they just build a new copter. Okay, down goes the missile. They hit the medium tank, and hit the medium tank. It's going to live. And living is very important, as you don't want the juicy indirects hit. And it's not even the worst thing that the missile goes down. There's still the 2 anti-airs. That's still so many tanks. Oh my gosh. But we might get a Drake Super. Ooh, hit the tank. Really? Really? Are we? Oh, it's because we're trying to go for the super. Can't you do stuff over here? No. What, you just... I don't understand. Something kills the anti-air. I mean, I'd be fine with keeping this guy around and like doing some fighting over here, hitting the super. 9 health tank hits 7 health anti-air. That seems fine. Maybe an infantry finishes it off. You build a copter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That doesn't reach. This doesn't reach. The copter starts holding off against all these tanks. It seems good to me. I don't know why Hawke is ignoring that anti-air. It's a threat. It's the only real threat against the copters, though. Well, okay, Black Storm over here now. It does so much damage. Was it like 40,000 damage? It was. Healed for almost 20,000. Pretty good. They probably use this infantry. Okay. They didn't get to fire. Kind of sucks. I don't know about this. I don't know about this. I really don't like this standing on the HQ. I really, or not HQ, the base. I really don't like that. But I guess, because I thought if you're not building a copter here, you must be building something over here. But I was just wrong. Oof. Of course I have to consider the time limit. This isn't an async game. Hawke barely gets the builds in at the end of the turn. Again, artillery doing a great job here. I'm not gonna lie. A little biased maybe. Anti-air gonna survive. They have copters to go after too, so this is looking pretty good. For Hawke, like stabilizing over here. Great that this artillery gets to fire because it also wants to stand here to save the HQ. You get the best of both worlds. Medium tank gets away with 1 health, something you can heal up. All the copters are taken out. Smack, smack, there we go. Take out the anti-air. I'd really like something to kill this infantry so you can build. I guess you don't really want to with the 5 health. 5 health anti-air there. That's still a pretty significant threat now. But it's, I mean, 133k unit value to 58. It's looking like Hawke somehow survived. Absolutely wild. Going caps the airport. It's just not going to matter though. The artillery can stop it. Does get to kill off some of the injured units. I do like that. Okay, I mean, the breakthrough hit the rocket down to 6. That's not nothing. Does overload the artillery a little bit. Not really, though. I mean, it can fire on the vehicles if it wants to. There's still infantry to interrupt. No, Max is just out of gas, but we are... The other thing to consider is we are on day 24. So, Hawke needs to capture 2, because Olaf also... Max also has both comm towers. So, Hawke does have to capture 2 properties, or a comm tower and a property, which, I mean, honestly, it looks like is about to happen over here. To draw the game. But really, 5 days is probably enough, though. Build a tank. Base skip over here, that's fine. Max is out of power. Oh, Hawke almost has it again. Yeah, Max is now at the stage of like, I just have to stop Hawke from capturing a property for 4 days. That's all I gotta do. And I still win this game. That property definitely looks like it's got... Hawke might have some sights on that. Also has to stop Hawke from taking the HQ. That's another thing. Right. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, okay. So if this infantry just marches straight down to this HQ, then it would get there in time. Again, artillery looking great. Now, I don't think you can actually make the HQ thing happen. Capturing this city, this comm tower, I think that's very possible. And that draws it. If this infantry can somehow capture this, I think Max can just sack enough stuff in. To stop anything happening over here. I think Max is just well positioned enough. There's not quite enough time. The join caps are going to be very good for this. Oh man, but can you get this city? I think there might be. Start at day 28, 29. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's very doable. Okay, that... I didn't even think about the T-copter. The T-copter is a real threat. Ooh, I don't like that. I really like the city capture. Because then you have 2 avenues of winning. Right now, Hawke is just all in. This isn't... this isn't a win, or even a tie. Alright. All Max has to do is stop this HQ cap for like a couple turns. I say as if that's like an easy thing to do. Ooh, we have the Max rocket! It doesn't cover on by. But it can scoot forward a tile and then cover. Okay, we have the T-copter block. Copter block. This can't reach there. I think this might work. Hawke might have it there. Trying to remember how well does a medium tank hit a T-copter. They hit pretty well. One helicopter, I think, is just not going to be enough as a backup, though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. If Max can maybe get a power, that will do enough damage. Not even gonna try. GG. Well played. Wow. Well, that was both a game that convinced me that Max does kind of deserve to be tier 1 in live games, and also had Hawke win. That was an amazing comeback. GG. Yeah, if the Max Rocket was a turn earlier, it could have gotten into position. Big GG. Well played. Alright, I think this will be the last one. It's going to be... I don't know how big this is. It might be long. Who knows? I'll be here for 2 hours. I do need to also finish reviewing all the submitted maps, and then... oh my god. And then release the people that made it to the round 2 of the judging. Corner static. You face this way. Red Halos in this game. Oh, it's a team game. Oh, it's 7 versus 1, of course. Oh, not only is Red Halo in this game, Red Halo is the one that everyone else is fighting. Oh, Red Halo owns all of the South. Oh my gosh. Red Halo starts with 170 units. And a lot of starting cash, but the starting cash is all over here. This is going to be... So I've done some of these kind of games where it's like one person versus a whole team. Usually when I've had to do it, there's no pre-deployed units, and the other team has way more income. I'd be amazed if Red Halo loses here, but maybe it's possible because they do have a lot of powers, right? Sasha's going to be a pain. All the global damage is going to be a pain. Their COs are real nasty. Red Halo is Colin Hachi tag, though. I don't know if Sasha... The problem is I don't think Sasha is going to work because of their positions, right? You don't want a Sasha right after Red Halo. That's basically nothing. Red Halo is going to be using the power on their turn. They're going to get charged for the rest of the turn. So the fact that these two Sasha players... They only have 2, right? Yeah. They both basically happen after Red Halo. That means there's at least 3 players who will be building charge for Red Halo. And then Red Halo also builds charge. So if like Latoon here was a Sasha player, that would be a lot better. But global damage is going to be amazing. Okay. There's a very large navy out there. Alright, Red Halo. Boom. What is... Okay, everything's taking the roads. They're all moving. Oh my god, like... You hate to be these 2 players. So many units are coming their way. Up here, it looks fairly even for them. Oh my gosh, is that like the worst place to have your HQ? On the front lines? Are you wild? Red Fire, pretty decent. It's gonna take a while for Red Halo's Navy to get anywhere. Some of these cities start being captured. I think Red Halo is probably gonna sack this area. I don't know how you possibly hold. Or maybe you just hold by spamming mega tanks, because they do have a large starting army, but it's a fairly low tech. They have like 1 neo tank, and they still have really low econ behind all this. So you can start building just like mega tanks or something over here. You don't really need to build them anywhere else, because this is the only front that's actually fighting. I mean, I guess they're technically fighting over here, but it's not a big deal. It's not like this one. Oh, look at this attack in. Alright, we do have 1 mega tank over here. We're going to start getting some swings in. And Red Halo did save up some cash last turn, so we're going to start seeing some power of money and then threatening the okay, didn't swap. Interesting. So it's gonna just go call power of money, not swap to threaten the Hachi super. I guess the Hachi super is not too well. There's a lot of cities down here, so I mean, I think it's pretty threatening. Ooh, they lost one of their Sasha players. They've already left the game. Brown Desert is just absolutely dead. There's so many units that they have to hold off alone. No. The Sashas are... There was a Sasha... This Sasha, I think, was right after Red Halo. Which is exactly when you don't want a Sasha. Okay, Red Fire... It's going to take a long time to get past all this nonsense for Red Halo to deal with that. This massive army is on its way. Half of it... Not even half, like a quarter of it has already shown up. Brown Desert's about to get routed, basically. Over here, the mega tanks are going to be just impossible to stop. Purple doing their best. Okay, here comes the global damage. This is going to help a lot. We had an eagle. No, we had a Hachi power used. But it's such a low econ Hachi power. Red Halo, 215 units. Has a Hachi super ready. Gets to use power of money with 136k. So it's now at 266k. Still hasn't bothered to switch over to Hachi. Brown Desert is just so dead. They went by Colin. The problem with the other players is they can be an ECO, but they don't have that starting econ. Okay. We have an Eagle super smack in over here and then swap over the Hachi. It's not the worst. It does do some damage. It's definitely going to stabilize this front a bit. Yeah, not everything died. I mean, it's very contested up there. Down here, Brown Desert is they're down to 5 units. Where's their HQ? Their HQ is completely surrounded. Fortunately, there's no infantry around to start capturing. They're gonna survive. They're just gonna be a nation of a sub and a black boat in the water. That's all Brown Desert's gonna be in this game. Red Halo's still alive over here. Sir Squeeable. Did Sir Squeeable use a Hachi super? See, I think that happened maybe last turn. Yeah, okay. So Sir Squeeable used a Hachi super last turn. You see what happened? This is not how you play Hachi. This is, I wanted to play Sensei, and I'm so desperate to play Sensei, I'm willing to pay for the infantry. I understand. I've done that too. You're like, well, I gotta do something. You just have to save up your cash because you don't want a Hachi build a bunch of infantry and have nothing else. Unless you're in the capture phase, but there's nothing to capture. Yeah. That's true. Red Halo does have Colin. Doesn't even have to like spend the money. Could just use power of money. Okay, purple does have Sami super is Adder. Okay, Sami Adder. Doesn't use a power, just attacks in. You do have a missile to fight off all these fighters. Alright, Orange Star still being very commendable in this attack. Oh, Blue Moon starts capturing a city and a comm tower. How many comm towers? I don't have a list of comm towers, do I? Let's see here. There's one over here by the Cobalt Ice HQ. There's one over here. So 2. Is there one over here, maybe? No, I guess it's just 2 comm tower calling. Oh, 3. There's one here. I'm surprised we even have Hachi. I mean, I think Red Halo could probably go Colin and Javier, maybe? Or maybe you go Javier Hachi? I don't know. That's okay. Red Halo attacks. Builds, what? 31 units. Uses the power again. Is that 626,000 funds? Yeah, looking good. This army is like the opponent's front is collapsing so quickly that the majority of the army is never going to make it to the fight. 3-tower Javier is, well, I would say it's gotta be the strongest. Just because, well, maybe it's not strong enough. Well, once you hit 4, it's gotta be, maybe? I mean, the fact that you could do your Javier power all the time because of how many units are standing. Javier power with 4 comm towers is plus 90, plus 90. With 2 comm towers, it's plus 70, plus 70 for stats. You're invincible when you're standing on a city. You want to live the 2-tower plus Javier dream? It's pretty strong. I don't even know which CO you have to be for Red Fire to like make a big impact in this game. I think you just get bombarded to death. You're so isolated. It's not easy for you to help the other fronts. Okay. We have Orange Star and Blue Moon combining their forces together, trying to hold back the Cobalt Ice. We do get the Drake super. It's going to do a lot of damage. Let's check here. We have a we have a unit value of 1,409,000. That's going to drop to 1,102,000. So it's rare that a super does 300,000 damage and you're still like completely lost. As it's so funny to me that the majority of Red Halo's troops haven't even made it to the fight, and he's just crushing. Used another power, 784,000 funds. Up here, it's fairly even-ish, but I mean, Red Halo's definitely winning. As Purple's almost dead, and Green's down to like a missile. Yeah, Red Fire decides I need to leave this game. Doesn't even fire the at least fire the Hawke super first. But I mean, look at just an awful position to be as Red Fire. The top right corner going to do their best. Red Halo. Every turn, Red Halo is just hit. Call in normal power. Nothing else. Red Halo doesn't need to even be tagged. Oh, we have another Drake Super. Did about the same, about another 300,000 or so. You know, a third of Red Halo's standing money, who's now over 1 million. We might have a super come in soon. Oh, okay. We'll try and watch a Red Halo turn, because here we can see he's got 0 charge. Oh my gosh, this is okay. How quick does he gain this charge? He gets like a whole bar over here. Gets to attack over here, smack into a battleship, take out the bomber. He's already at enough to get a charge. And this is why Sasha is basically doing nothing. Now the rest of Red Halo's turn is just moving individual units. Pop. We'll just skip that. Okay. 416 units. Okay, doing their best over here. Ooh, the strongest opponent leaves. Oh, they're still sticking it out. One of them needs to be Rachel. That's what we're learning. Bam, 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 bam. Oh my gosh. Blue Moon, the last one standing. Did we have a... No. Red Halo, just normal power, normal power. Doesn't get a normal power. 501 units. Just normal power. Almost 2 million funds in the bank. 3 million funds in the bank. Gained 1 million funds that turn. Sure squeeable. Merchant Union. And resigns. GG. Red Halo wins the 7 vs 1. Yeah, that was a pretty advantaged start, I will say. Red Halo played Colin Hachi, never swapped off Hachi, did nothing but press the normal power every turn as Colin, and just won the game. Oh, maybe all of them. The problem is the opposing teams started with no income, so it takes a while to be able to build up enough units to like spam all the global damage. I mean, if the Hawke super had gone off, it would have been some good damage. It wouldn't have done as much. Rich boy. All right, that'll be the end of the stream. I will be on a trip for 2 weeks, so there'll be no more streams for quite a while, but I'll be coming back. Don't you worry. I hope everyone enjoyed. Here's your apple. Yeah, no unit limit. If there was a unit limit, then Red Halo would be just GG. Here's your apple. Enjoy. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.
It's Go7, king of the penguins. Of all the penguins, he is king. It's Go7, king of the penguins. Being king of the penguins, that's his thing.